In our last 4 sessions, we discussed a letter from a woman whose husband hid the condition of the family finances from her. I recommended that she require a full disclosure of their finances from him, but without any irritation or victimhood. I suggested an incremental approach with him, starting with a clear statement of requirement, then introduction of an accountant, recognizing that he might become very defensive at this invasion of his kingdom of power. Now, back to the writer of the letter. So, what can you do if your husband says that if you bring an accountant in to look over the family finances, it will be over his dead body? Because I've seen this kind of resistance before. You now have a decision to make, my dear, and it's a decision you have to make once and be done with. In other words, stick with. Do you want to live in this relationship in fear for the rest of your life? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, then you don't need to talk to me. Just give in to your husband's anger and do whatever he says. Live in ignorance about the finances. And for the rest of your life, do whatever it takes to avoid your husband being angry. Many people are willing to live lives like that. Personally, I think that would define hell. But many people still live like that. If you don't learn about your finances here, that's what you're headed for. If he refuses to cooperate, he will be attempting to hold you hostage over this issue. And ironically, he'll blame you for any disharmony it creates in your relationship. Pay attention here. As long as you don't become angry, do not shoulder the blame that he will heap upon you by the truckload. Who made the decision to hide the financial information? He did. And when you repeatedly asked him for clarification, who failed to supply the information? He did. So, who made it necessary to bring in an accountant? He did. But he will blame you for bringing in the accountant. Wrong. You're simply doing what's necessary to get you the information that you are supposed to have. Do you think that he would tolerate being this ill-informed? Absurd. So, do not listen when you are being blamed here. But don't fight him back either. Simply keep taking the next step to get the information you need. It's all about the next action, not about fighting and arguing and defending, which is where everybody gets all bogged down, often to the death. And what are your next steps, technically speaking? Who cares? That's for accountants and lawyers to help you with. But use them where necessary. Initially, see an accountant for advice. Ask him or her what to do. If you don't get every piece of information you need, you might even have to file for divorce. You don't actually have to get divorced. I'm not recommending that. But if you file for divorce, at that point, the court can order your husband to allow a forensic accountant to go through every piece of paper and every electron he has generated for the past 100 years. The point is, you can get the information you want. It can be done. And you don't have to become irritated anywhere in the process. It's wonderful. Is it worth getting this information? Yes. This withholding that he's doing is an indication of far worse things going on in your marriage. And while you're getting the financial information, you need to be telling your husband about your mistakes and flaws and working at loving him better. You need to be surrounding yourself with all the loving people you can. That would be good. During the entire process, remember that it's all about real love. It always is.